Do not be afraid to do DIY. Most of my costly mistakes stem from improper measuring. These enclosures have lasted for several years. It really protects my enclosures. Oh, that was cool. Hey guys, how's it going? Today, we're gonna be doing a different video styling because as you can see, it is pouring out, so we're not gonna be in the usual spot, but that's okay because we need to be in my garage today because I took down the baby Ackie enclosure. I kind of ripped it apart a little bit because I need to move it away for the new mystery reptile enclosure, and it's been deteriorating because I tried something new, and that's what prompted me to try to do this video, or do this video, not try, hopefully. So today, we're gonna be talking about some building tips that I've learned as I've done couple of DIY projects with my Ackie enclosures and such like that. So hopefully these tips can help you out if you want to do it. It's a great way to save money doing DIY. So pay attention and hopefully you can learn something from my mistakes and what I've learned doing my own enclosures. By the way, I actually have a detailed guide written out for my Ackie enclosures, the adult ones. If you haven't seen them already, I'm sure you'll see it at some point in this video. That will be in the description, so check that out if you're really interested. Also, one more thing, man, my head is real shiny in here. Anyway, I just wanted to shout out the Discord guys because we actually have one. I don't really promote it too much, but we're one member away from 50 people on there. We really chat a lot on there. If you guys really want to continue having reptile conversations and just hanging out with like-minded folks, definitely check it out. That's in the description below. You'll find the invite link. All right, so this is the baby Ackie enclosure I had set up. You guys, if you've watched videos in the past, know this enclosure. There's no baby Ackies right now, at least until mid-September or early September, so I can do this. And I had to take off a piece right here because I had to get all the dirt out, and it was easy as if I could just shuffle it out on the side. Excuse the poor lighting in here, but I wanted to show you guys what happens when you have an enclosure built with wood, that even after a few coats of a polyurethane or something like that, if you have something in here that requires a moist substrate, what happens to the enclosure? You can see right here, it's deteriorating. Obviously, I just broke it off really quickly. I coated this thing in probably 7 layers of a water-based polyurethane. I say water-based because that's the only polyurethane you should really use on a reptile enclosure. It's safe. The other one, the oil-based, I believe, isn't. But even after all those coats applied, letting it cure and sit over days, it still deteriorates. And this is within probably 6 months of me building it and having it fully completed. So the best way to combat this is to actually line the parts of the enclosure that will be touching the substrate with plexiglass. Yes, this is gonna be more costly than you would probably like, but it really does the job. It really protects my enclosures. Oh, that was cool. You can see that this enclosure is doing completely fine after about 3 years now, I believe, of being in this condition, having 2 feet of substrate in there that's usually always humid and moist, especially deep down. It's layering all sides, the substrate is touching even on the bottom piece. Another tip I have is to be innovative. One thing that was difficult for me is getting the tracks to slide the plexiglass doors in. And I believe what this actually is for framing drywall. Not 100%, but I found this just looking around at Lowe's, and it ended up working out. So you gotta get innovative for some stuff. Some of the things you'll need are just not something that's readily made for, you know, normal use. Like, who needs tracks? I mean, actually, that's probably a popular thing, don't you think? Well, I just spent 10 minutes brainstorming that, but anyway, basically what it comes down to is you're not gonna find everything you need functionality-wise very readily, or just, you know, it's there, go grab it, pick it up, come home. You gotta innovate sometimes, so that's definitely one thing you gotta do. Another example of that is my light fixtures. I always get asked where I get these fixtures right here. I will put them in the description in case you're curious, but you need to come up with these things, and one thing I'm not really great at is working, you know, electrician work. I don't know any of that. I'll probably electrocute myself. So I had to get something that went to a plug, and actually I don't have any out here, but goes to a plug, and that's what this does. No wiring that you have to hook up or anything, so you really gotta look around, see what you can do and make use of, and these have worked great. Look at my good girl, guys. Max wants you guys to subscribe. She'll eat more and more of her greens with the more subscribers we get, so basically her health depends on you guys. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button in the lower right corner or below, and hit the bell as well for all the latest updates. Embarrassingly enough, most Most of my costly mistakes stem from improper measuring. One thing that I just brain fart on all the time is accounting that you have to screw into another piece of wood. So I always forget that extra 3/4 of an inch I need on both sides if it's going into that piece of wood that I need to extend over the amount I want. And I've had to really just get a whole new piece of plywood, because I'm not much of an idiot, and start over from scratch. So don't make that mistake. That will cost you a piece of plywood, and getting a bunch of plywood can be rather expensive. Oh wait, here's a great dunce example of me not accounting for certain measurements and coming up short. If you look here, there is a little gap here that I covered up with this little mesh. And when I introduced this enclosure, I said I was just trying something different, seeing if ventilation worked in the enclosure. No, I really just messed up measuring, and I didn't want to admit to it, so, you know, it happens. Another tip I can give you guys is think long term. I did not come to the realization when making these enclosures that I would be moving them a couple times, and they are really not built to move. They survived one move. I don't think they'll survive another. Also, it would be nice to have a little bit more support for a move. You can see there's not much support for these enclosures here. And I would have liked to have this off the ground somehow, if possible. I'm not really sure how I would have liked to do that with the amount of weight that is in this enclosure. I obviously do not want bowing, but that would be something nice to have, especially at some point. I'm gonna have to remove all this substrate out of here when I move, and that's gonna be quite a hassle. So if I could have designed something to make it a little bit easier to remove the substrate, that would have been great. And finally, the cheesiest but probably the most important tip I can give you guys is do not be afraid to do DIY. I am not handy. I think so far through this video I've pretty much shown how bad I am at this stuff, but I did a pretty decent job. I mean, these enclosures have lasted for several years. I mean, guys, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this attempt, this sad attempt. You see how many times I tried to nail that? How many holes are in there? Yeah, look, I even broke off a piece of the wood. Anyway, so anybody can do this, guys. It's really not incredibly difficult. You can do it where it's a bang up enough job, and you know, it's not gonna probably be the most visually appealing if you're not that great at it, but it'll get the job done, save your wallet some hassle. It's worth it. Whoa, Tortellini. All right, guys, that's about all I got for you today. Make sure to let me know how you like this video styling, the vlog styling. Maybe I should do more of this. Let me know if you like it or if you enjoy my regular styling that I've been doing. I hope this helped, though, in your DIY projects and gave you some information in your future builds. Couple announcements before we wrap up. You guys want to know what the mystery reptile is? Well, go support the Patreon. It is live on there right now. You will know what it is if you are a supporter. And it will be going in this smaller 12 by 12 by 18 size enclosure for a little bit of time while it's a baby. I was recommended by the producer of the animal, or the breeder. Producer is a weird way to say that. But shout out to Smooth Cat, Herb M, David T, Angela L, and Houston H. Thank you so much for supporting the Patreon. You guys could support it too for as little as $1 a month. A lot of content to come on there. Definitely worth it. Want to support the channel in a different way? Check out the Teespring. That will be in the description. We have 4 different designs. I am wearing my Professor Herp shirt today, but we got some cool Tegu, Bearded Dragon, Ackie Monitor designs up there as well. That will be to the left of my head, right of your screen. Definitely check it out. Well, that about wraps things up, guys, so make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. I will see you next week on Wednesday with another video. I hope you enjoyed and took something away from this. See you guys.